Let me introduce myself. I'm Lydia Vorster. Together with my husband, we've been in real estate since 2005 in the northern suburbs of Cape Town, and enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Lydia. Can everybody hear me fine? If I can also just get a thumbs up from someone. Thank you very much, Liz, Lydia. Right, Lydia's introduced us. That's great. So I'm going to just dive right in, right? It's very exciting to be here. I love presenting these things, and I'm just going to dive right in. As you know, that's one of my favorite sayings in the middle there. So this is just a sort of a big picture before we actually get into the tools that we use on a daily basis. Basically, AI and technology, they're not here to replace estate agents, but they're definitely going to raise the standard, right? So the agents who learn to use these tools properly are going to pull through and are going to start pulling away from the rest. That's why for me, 2026, actually last year already, but 2026 definitely feels like a real tipping point. And what used to be sort of optional is now becoming, you can almost say, the standard or the baseline that we have to operate on. So today I'm going to show you a practical, let's call it a blueprint basically, of what we use day to day and then why it works for us. So before we really jump in, I just want to explain why I think this session matters so much for agents. Real estate is really changing faster than most agents can actually keep up, right? I mean, you actually probably realize it. That's why you're sitting here today. So tech, AI, artificial intelligence, marketing, compliance, just everything in our business is changing fast. And we as agents can quite easily feel very overwhelmed by all of this. And you should know, as well as I do, that most agents are working harder now than they ever had before, right? But hard work alone just doesn't create consistency. And so what does actually create consistency is tools and systems that improve three things in your business. That's your brand, your personal brand, your productivity, and your exposure out there in the market. So after all our previous general ChatGPT and AI webinars, which I did the whole of last year and we're still continuing to do, many agents have asked, can we show them what the other tools and systems are that we use? So today is not going to be just theory. I'm going to really show you exactly what we use in real life, just sort of an overview that we use to grow and actually protect our business. And then you can decide what parts are worth using for you. Okay, just a quick note up front. As many of you do know, we are with eXp Realty. So many of the tools that we use do sort of sit inside our eXp ecosystem. So some of what I'll show you today is unique to eXp, but many of the external tools that we actually get free access to, many of those external tools can also be used by any agent. So the goal here is more to just help you make informed decisions about what will work for your business going forward. Okay, so if you walk away today with just some good practical ideas, then we've definitely achieved what we came to do. Right. Again, just always got to bring this in. So the future is going to reward agents who build scalable and system-driven businesses. These days, actually, our clients expect speed. They expect us to be professional and consistent with everything. And we need technology to deliver on those expectations. We can't do it without technology anymore. So I think today, let's just call this again, our presentation today, call it again a blueprint. I like the word blueprint of what a modern real estate business could and should actually look like. Okay, so remember, tools and technology are meant to free agents to spend more time with people. It remains a people business. Right. Okay, on to today's agenda. So today is quite simple. I've tried to make sort of the whole presentation sensible, and I've divided up into three sections. But together we have one goal, and that is to create a more predictable business. So in section one, I'm going to be talking about lead generation and lead nurturing and how we do that. So that's to get more leads, for better follow-up, for higher conversions into actual business. So the goal is obviously to stop leads falling through the cracks because you don't have a system in place. In section two, we're going to be talking about listing and marketing systems. So just all about better marketing and wider exposure, not only locally, but also globally. What we use there. This is really about presenting yourself better and reaching sort of beyond the obvious places. Okay, and then in section three, we're going to be touching on training and artificial intelligence again, and growth and upskilling yourself. strengthening your own personal brand. I'm
Why
going to
isn't it doing anything? It's on run. What must it be on? A line.
These people, can you keep your mics on mute? Thank you. Section 3, okay, as I said, it's going to be about training and upskilling and strengthening your own personal brand. And this is all to build income that's more stable over time. Okay, so if you just follow the flow of the presentation today through these 3 sections, each section will sort of build on the previous section. And by the end, I believe you'll have a much clearer picture of what you could improve in your business, if anything. So let's get started with section 1, which is going to be about lead generation and lead nurturing. There we go. Right, so this is where we're going to start, lead generation and the systems that can help you stay top of mind consistently. So when you use the right tools, you will definitely firstly generate better quality leads, but then you can also nurture them better. That's very important. And eventually, because of that, you can convert more of them into actual paying business clients. Okay, so in this section, we're going to talk about how we go about creating predictable growth with our lead generation and lead nurturing systems. So we all know this, the average agent's daily battle. This is just a quick overview of systems and how we access them. So every agent knows that this sort of pain point, right? We all use multiple systems because we've got so many things that we have to do, multiple systems and programs, and we have multiple logins and multiple passwords, and none of them sync or talk to each other, and we forget them, and etc. Right? This is where many agents often lose a lot of time and actually lose focus as well, as simple as it may sound. So we use a system within our company that simplifies all of this dramatically. It really does. So I'll show you what this sort of unified system looks like quickly. What we use is a system called Okta. It's pretty much our sort of all-in-one single sign-on system that we use to access all our systems that we do use. So we just log in once. It's your universal login with one password, one dashboard, and then all the other tools, even if they're external tools to which we have free access, they're then all in one place. Okay. So it removes the frustration of jumping between different systems all day with different usernames and so on. So from here, we'll access our CRM, all of our marketing tools, all our documents that we need, document templates, our Flickr systems, flow marketing, which I'm going to talk about later, which is fantastic. And of course, our support staff, everything we can access from here and much, much more, as you're still going to see. So this alone basically saves us hours every week. I'm quite convinced. This is pretty much what it looks like. So every agent gets this, our agent dashboard, basically, which is our Okta dashboard. It's simple, it's clean, and as you'll see, all the tools are sort of sitting there, and it's just a one click and you're in every tool. So almost every tool that you'll see today is actually accessed from this single screen within our Okta dashboard. It really brings order, right? It brings order to what used to be chaos. So as you'll see there, I mean, we're going to talk a lot about PropCon. Some of these systems will be familiar to you. Lightstone, the virtual agent, DocFox, maybe it's these days it's called Encino, Canva, which we have access to, etc. Okay, so it's all in one place. Nice single sign-on. Okay, so in this evolving world of us, what does lead generation look like? So lead generation really has changed completely. And those agents who adopt technology and AI, as I've said, they're going to have a massive advantage from now on going forward. Okay, so I'm just cannot say this enough. Agents who embrace this early on, they are going to get ahead fast and really distinguish themselves from the rest. Okay. So most agents, in my opinion, struggle with lead generation. I mean, it's just not easy, okay? But it's mainly because, well, in many cases, it's because many agencies actually still operate with outdated systems. They haven't really got a real CRM, no proper automation, no artificial intelligence built in, etc. This pretty much leaves agents sort of floundering around and guessing a bit and actually working harder than they should. A proper modern CRM uses data intelligently and will help you to nurture your leads properly, okay? So the result of that basically is lead generation and lead nurturing, which is very important. It delivers predictable results into the future, okay? So with the best CRM, it becomes so that it's not about luck anymore. It's actually about creating a predictable, structured future and workflow. All right. So just into some practical lead generation tools. There are various kinds. The ones that we use pretty much you'll see here, and I'm going to show how we interact between them. So these are nice practical lead generation tools that we specifically use. We personally use a mix of these tools daily for our lead generation. So firstly, obviously, Lightstone. Many of you might know Lightstone. That gives us all the data we need, property data, etc. The virtual agent, on the other hand, gives us all owner contact details if we need to contact owners or to build our actual database. And then our PropCon CRM, which you're going to have a deep look at today as well, that keeps everything organized. The CRM is really, that's your customer relationship management system. That's the be all and end all. Okay. Anyway, when you combine all these and you combine them with artificial intelligence and you combine them with targeted online ads, which we're going to see later in the presentation, then your lead flow starts becoming consistent. Okay, and we'll be looking at all that in section 3 a little bit later on. So these tools, if they're used correctly, will help you stay visible and relevant to property owners in the areas that you work, so that you will be the go-to person when they are ready to transact. Okay, so it's a simple set of tools, but it's incredibly powerful when it's all used together and brought together. Right, Lightstone, as I said, many of you might know Lightstone. There are similar products out there. We use Lightstone, so you will possibly be familiar with it already. Lightstone is what gives us property reports and property data, everything that we need to sort of prospect for leads intelligently. So yeah, from property reports to streets reports and suburb reports and property trends. It just gives us everything that we need quickly and accurately. Obviously, from there, we can get owner information, names, IDs, etc. for any property and street, etc. And you can, of course, pull up reports within seconds, also to use for your CMAs, to have data for your CMAs, but that's another topic. But we're going to be concentrating here right now on how we use it sort of to farm for leads. Okay, obviously, knowing your area through data that you can get from PropCon, that's always very important as an estate agent, as a property practitioner. Right, so just there, as I showed you earlier, within Okta, we just use one click and we are within Lightstone. So we're not going to go into Lightstone. That's not the purpose of this, as long as you know what we get there. So the next thing, once you've got property owner details, is you need to find accurate owner information so that you can get in contact with these people, right? So to find accurate owner contact details, this is one of the most frustrating parts of prospecting. Is actually trying to find accurate and correct owner details. Right? Accurate owner data and details, that's often the difference between actually wasting your time while trying to generate leads or actually generating real opportunities. Right, so again, from Okta, we just click in and we go to the virtual agent. So from there, you can, from an ID number, it gives you up-to-date owner information in seconds. And I've really found this to be extremely up-to-date these days. So it's one of the fastest ways to really get accurate contact details for property owners once you have their details, which we got from Lightstone. Okay, so this tool is absolutely essential in our daily prospecting. As I said again, you just click on there and you're in virtual agent. Some of you might be using the virtual agent. That's pretty much your dashboard where you open up, where you put in an ID number. You can also search on company details and so on to get owner details. And then they have just for us as EXP agents, as I said, you click right into the virtual agent and we get allocated 60 daily credits every single day. So we can look up 60 people's contact details for free every single day. Okay, moving on. I like this slide. Once you've got leads, so now you use Lightstone, you've used the virtual agent, you've actually got leads. Now what happens next? So let me say something here that, looking at this slide, that might be slightly uncomfortable. I think most agents don't lose business because they're bad agents. They actually lose business because they don't have a proper system. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Okay, they don't have a proper system. So follow-ups get missed often. Potential leads end up going cold, right? Opportunities sort of quietly disappear. And it's not because we don't care, it's because without a structured CRM, your database is leaking money. It's as simple as that. Okay, so for us, PropCon is our CRM, but it's also much more. And it's pretty much the backbone of our business. It's not just the CRM, but in any case, it's one of our core operational systems that we use. So a little bit about PropCon. It's not just the CRM. It really is our core operating system in a way, because it manages our database very efficiently. We're going to look at that now. But it also manages our listings and our syndication through to all the portals, both local and international. And it manages our transactions as well, tracking our transactions once we've sold properties. We'll look quickly at that later on as well. Okay, but the important part for me about PropCon as a CRM is it was really built specifically for South African agents, and that helps a lot. It really fits our workflows and our compliance environment in South Africa. And it, of course, for us, it syndicates to all the important portals to which we have access, which we're going to look at later on, and much more, as you'll also see later on. Right, so the CRM portion of PropCon, which we're talking about now, that's what we use to stay organized and consistent with our leads, and to make sure we stay top of mind. It's all about staying top of mind with leads, that they always aware you are the best agent around, so that when they're ready to transact, you are still top of mind and they will use you. Okay, so all of this really matters in the whole scheme of our business workflow. Right, again, from PropCon, we simply click, from Octo, we simply click and we go into PropCon. I'm not going to go deeply into PropCon, but I mean, this just pretty much shows the initial dashboard, and on the left you've got all your menus where we all look at contacts now, but you can go to your listings to load listings and where they syndicate to, and then you can go to deal tracking. That's where we capture our transactions, etc. Everything you need right here in one place. So I'm not going to go too deeply into that. Right, but now using the CRM part of PropCon, this is to build your PropCon database, right? So that you can nurture leads, etc. So how does the database how do you grow your database? Basically in three ways. Firstly, you can obviously manually upload your contacts one by one into PropCon as you get them on a daily basis, or people you know, or your sphere of influence or whatever. Secondly, you can import it obviously in bulk from a spreadsheet. So if you have a whole lot of contacts, you can very easily import them into PropCon in bulk. But here's how it also gets very powerful, is when you've got listings out there, every single listing inquiry that we receive from the portals also automatically feeds straight into our CRM. So they're sitting there also waiting to be nurtured for the future, whether they buy now or not. Okay, so there's no for these inquiries that you get from the portals, you don't have to copy and put them in again. You don't have to forward them anywhere. There's no admin assistant needed. They just go straight in. It just lands in the system. Okay, so that alone also removes a lot of friction in the whole process. So once your database is actually set up and you've got leads within it, now nurturing your leads will become effortless. Right. What does this really mean in practice? So what does it mean for us day to day? Okay, it means every contact now lives in one central place, right, in our PropCon CRM. So for every specific contact, you've got all the notes about that contact, all conversations you can make note of. You can add tags, and all tags that are relevant to that specific contact are kept in there so that you can contact them easily later on and group them. We can set automated reminders for birthdays, obviously, property anniversaries, for follow-ups in future, for future callback reminders. So that type of thing. Then you can create tasks, and tasks can be linked directly to people, no matter what that is. There's just so much you can do. So nothing ends up just floating around somewhere in your notebook or in your diary, right? It's all there, and you get reminders, etc. And then, of course, the nice thing is we can send bulk emails or text campaigns directly from the system as well, either to your whole database or to groups of them, because you would have tagged them either by suburb or by whatever. So that's also a great feature, is the sort of the bulk messaging. And then, very importantly, when you're talking about POPI and the Protection of Personal Information Act, POPI permissions are tracked automatically as well within PropCon. So you making sure that you are remaining POPI compliant as well. So all this really helps us to basically become, what can I say? It helps us to become the agent who never forgets, right? So everything, you remain top of mind and you never forget anything. Okay. moving on. I can't say this enough. In my opinion, the strongest asset an agent actually has, which you see there. So your strongest asset is not the car you drive. It's not your office. It's not the phone or your phone. It's not your laptop. It's your database, right? Your database is the core of your whole business going forward. But without structured follow-up and nurturing and so on, it's really just a contact list that's sitting there useless. So PropCon is what we use to turn our contact list, which was sitting there useless, but turn it now into a proper business system. Okay. Now, we've generated leads and we're nurturing them and so on. Okay, but now generating leads is only half the job, right? Converting them into actual income generating sales at some point, that's where the value lies, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose of our business, isn't it? Apart from helping people, because we're in the people business, the other part is we want to generate sales and we want to generate business. So to convert effectively, again, you need proper, so how can I put this? We're talking about exposure now. So you need proper world-class exposure and professional marketing tools. So that's where the listing and marketing side now comes in, what we're going to be talking about. Again, remember the way you market your current listings, it's not always just about marketing the listing to find a buyer. So the way you market your current listings is often actually the biggest differentiator in winning future listings, because your future potential sellers are also actually looking at the listings that you're marketing today in their area. Okay, so remember that your current listings and the way you're marketing them is also very important to win your future business. Okay, so we'll be looking at this now. In section 2, we're going to be looking right into the second big area, listing properties, marketing, compliance, collaboration. This is where you can really separate yourself massively from the competition. Okay, and we're going to be looking at how we do this. So with professional systems that provide world-class exposure, and then all that coupled with strong processes that give you sort of a powerful edge overall. Okay, let's just start looking now at how you can elevate your listings and your service beyond what the normal agent does. So as I have said, this is where sellers start to see the difference between an average agent and a top tier agent. Okay, so very important to take note. Right, that's slide. These days, that's just a definite. No matter what market you're in, your sellers these days expect more than just good photos and listing descriptions, right? I mean, that's very easy to say, this is what your listing looks like. They expect a full marketing strategy. So they also obviously expect maximum exposure. They want, and these days, really, the world is getting small, so they want both local and international exposure. So if you can show that you deliver all of this, you instantly stand out. Believe me, because not everybody is doing this. So let me show you basically how we do this and what tools we use. And again, I always come back to this. Great marketing is not only about advertising a listing. It is also one of the fastest ways to try and secure future referrals. Right. Again, PropCon famously, now it's not our CRM. Now we're going into the listing part of things. So firstly, we'll just sort of run through a few things. Obviously, what the interface looks like, your listings, your buyers, your notes and updates, they all sit in one clean platform. So it really does help you to manage everything professionally and consistently regarding your listings and your sellers. And then sellers appreciate this sort of level of structure as well, obviously. And everything eventually, as I said, also gets sort of linked back automatically to your CRM. This is just a quick overview. As when you're in a specific listing, you've got an overview tab, you've got an info tab. Obviously, you put in all the details. We're not going to go through these things. There you'd put in your, if you have a YouTube video, you put the link in there. Very nice, creating your property descriptions. There's a built-in AI bot, which will help you really tweak your listing description and improve on it where necessary to make it really attractive. And in the gallery, normal thing, photos, you can drag and drop them, upload them, change the order, etc. Nice on your drive, very handy for that specific listing. You can upload the sole mandates, property condition reports, whichever documents. So you've got everything in nice one handy place. And then what's very nice also is once you've syndicated and once you've finished the listing, you get this listing quality score. So it's also going to tell you what looks good and what you could improve on to improve your sort of searchability and findability of your listing, and the SEO, search engine optimization of your listing, so that you can perform better. So that's also a very handy part of the system. Right, now, local exposure is good, but global exposure changes everything. Okay, so just loading a quality listing, that doesn't mean much, okay? As I said before, it depends where it's going to go. It's the exposure of that listing that actually matters. So local exposure is obviously important, and that every single agent does, and it is important. We do obviously sell many, many properties from there. But these days, global exposure is also a game changer. Okay, today, buyers are searching internationally, especially in the luxury market, but not only there. So when you can tell a seller that their property will truly be visible worldwide, everything also changes. Again, this is a big differentiator when you are doing your listing presentations. Okay, so that's not just going to get you leads, it's also going to get you properties to sell. And well, yeah, we really have many buyers. I can show you many buyers from abroad, purely because of the expanded reach that we have access to. Right, this is in a bit of a nutshell. If we look at global exposure, what it is for us. So through the ProperStar network is one of the big networks. All our listings feed through automatically through there, and they're automatically syndicated to more than 34 countries. Plus, they automatically translated into the native languages of those countries. And as you're actually going to see later, even when people contact you, they'll contact you in their language, you'll get it in English. You can reply in English, they'll get it back in their language. So communication also becomes quite easy. Plus, we also have access to luxury marketing if a property qualifies through what's called the James Edition Luxury Network. That's really the benchmark of luxury marketing worldwide. So if any of your listings is above 10 million Rand, that's the qualifying criteria. It will automatically also feed through to the James Edition. So all these international platforms, they really bring serious reach, okay, and credibility to your marketing. So it immediately sets you apart instantly from most other traditional agents, because all these things actually come at a cost, right? But for us, it's included. Okay, then important to just know again that global exposure just means more eyes on your property, more clicks, more quality leads, and we have proof of that. And as I said, it's a big differentiator when you are speaking to other agents to set you apart, to sellers, so that it will set you apart from other agents. Okay, this again is in PropCon, back in your listing system. So once you've loaded a listing and you're happy with it, this is where you choose where you would want it to feed through to. So you can feed it through to any or all, that's your choice. So obviously it'll go to your own personal website or your digital business card, if you so choose, to the EXP South Africa website, to the local portals, the major ones, Property 24, Private Property, My Property, then to flow marketing, which we're going to look at just now, which is next level reach that you can get on social media. And then the James Edition we spoke about, and ProperStar, and Green Acres is actually another newly added international network where we get exposure on. All right, ProperStar, I'm not going to go in depth into this, but I do want you to just see, but this is pretty much, so you can actually log into ProperStar. As I said, you fed all your listings through from PropCon onto ProperStar, then you can actually log into ProperStar to go and see what your listings look there in the various countries. So you have actually just taken a quick video where I'm just going to run down our ProperStar once you've logged into ProperStar, so you can see just what it looks like and how the translations happen. So obviously there's all your listings, which are exactly the same listings that you fed through from PropCon. You'll see the same listing with all its details. If you click over there, you will be able to see in exactly which countries it's going to be active. There you can see the whole list of countries. So these are things you can actually send your seller a report from here, which shows him exactly what exposure he's getting on ProperStar. So anyway, those are all the countries. I could have done this a bit quicker, it seems. There we go. Then there you go. If you see, I'm going to click on translations. So now you're going to see, initially, there's my listing description, obviously, that I have fed through from PropCon. But then on the left, you've got every single country, and you can choose click on any single country to see what the actual translation looks like in that country, if you so wish. So this is what now a guy in Germany is going to see, right? Nicely translated perfectly into German, so he knows exactly what the property is about. And then on the messages tab, you see at the top there, now we will be able to see if we've got any messages. Obviously, you'll get an email notification and a PropCon notification that somebody has inquired on a listing. But similarly, you can also go into ProperStar and see all of them in one place, any inquiries that actually came from ProperStar. And the nice thing here again, you'll see there it's all in English, but it's the original inquiry was actually, in this case, was in Dutch. So I can actually turn off translation and they'll actually see how the guy really inquired. Hello, ik ben geïnteresseerd. Anyway, I got it in English. All right. So just to show you that powerful part, and when we answer, as I said, you can go back and forth and understand each other, even if you don't understand each other's language. Okay, so that was just a quick demo of ProperStar, so you can see what it's about. Here we go, and then the James edition we spoke about. So when your seller wants real prestige, if it's an upmarket property, and upmarket clients, you probably don't even need to explain this. They will recognize this immediately, the James edition, and it really positions your luxury listings in front of proper high net worth clients worldwide. So anyway, yeah, so your sellers are going to immediately recognize the value of this and of being displayed at this level and on probably the world's most prestigious luxury website. Okay, so it's also one of the most attractive marketing tools for our luxury clients. Then this, very exciting, live.com. This is EXP's own global property platform, and across nearly 30 countries at this stage, and we're building up towards 50. So every single country where EXP is at the moment, with 90,000 agents worldwide, almost 90,000 at this stage and growing fast. So buyers can basically browse all EXP properties that are available worldwide in one place. So there's no more jumping between websites. So your seller, on the other hand, they benefit not only from the international visibility, but also the fact that there's cross-border collaboration, right, and networking and collaboration between 90,000 EXP agents. So this really is, in my mind, the future of real estate is just borderless visibility and discovery and collaboration. Okay, and it's going to be keep moving as well, as I said, and we're expecting to be in 50 countries within the next few years and growing. Right, and this is a quick preview of what it looks like. Stylish portal, brings your listings in front of a much bigger audience. Once people are in the portal, obviously they could even just go to the map, go to a specific country and look in a specific country who's there. Obviously, it also allows us as agents, this is very important, it allows us to collaborate. So if I've got a buyer looking somewhere, I can go and look for properties and I can collaborate with thousands, 90,000 plus, thousands of agents across the world, and we could possibly do business together if I have a buyer that's looking in a certain country. Okay. Now, apart from your listings going everywhere and your company's brand is one thing, okay? But you mustn't rely on your company's brand. Every agent today needs their own strong personal brand and a professional online presence. This is a personal business. No matter what brand you're working for, your clients are actually doing business with you, right? So it's very important that you have your own personal brand out there, okay, and that you look professional. Clients really want to see who you are, what you offer, not only what your brand offers, because you are the one who's doing the nitty-gritty. So they want to know what you are offering and why they should actually trust you personally as well. So your own online profile, that's your first impression really, long before the clients often speak to you, if it's somebody that you don't really know. That is your first point of reference, okay, or their first point of reference about you. So that's why having your own branded microsite or digital business card, but I'm going to show you a microsite, is such a powerful, powerful tool, okay, because your marketing should be out there 24/7 working for you while you sleep and portraying you as a person, as a professional property practitioner. Okay, so within EXP, we all get a very professional microsite. You simply log in there and then you just quickly tweak it and make it personal so that it's your own one. So this allows you to give clients, you give them a link basically, and then they can browse. Firstly, they can browse obviously all your listings, but they can get to know you instantly, information about you, who you are. So it also serves as your digital business card, which is the sort of mini version of this microsite. But that's always up to date and easy to share. Okay, it's easy to share. It's just a link and anybody can see it. So buyers can follow your listings directly, and sellers on the other hand can see your full marketing presence and who you are. So this really does help you stand out as a true professional in what today is actually a very crowded real estate market. Okay, but it's one of the easiest tools to use, actually, but definitely one of the most powerful. So I think, yeah, okay. This is, for instance, you'll see at the top there is a link. This is now Lydia's specific one, which we set up. So it's me.expsouthafrica.co.za/Lydia. So you would get your own one. I'm going to just play the video where we just basically scroll down so you can pretty much see. It's going to highlight, you and your biography and all your listings and things. But then there's also a blog where you can upload articles and information, which really makes you look professional. So let's just play the videos quickly. So there, as you see, you're scrolling down. You've got, again, all your listings, which fed through from PropCon. People can search there as well. You could also tweak it so that you get the whole EXP South Africa's listing on there as well, depending on your settings. Anyway, whole About Us section, all your social links and things, contact forms, everything you need. This is really like a full-on website of your own, basically. So just up to the top menu again. Okay, About Us just gives more details about you, so that people really know who you are, any qualifications, etc., what your expertise is. And all this you obviously tweak for your personal experience and so on. Then the blog. So here you can go and upload and create content. And this is also very important going forward. Firstly, your sellers take you seriously, right? Because you look like whatever you're creating. This is now what I've created, but nevertheless, I create a lot of videos as well and so on, educating buyers and sellers. But whatever you do, it's easy to create content these days, and you can get it up there. And this will also make you more searchable and findable on the internet and on AI. AI is going to start finding agents for people, and it will obviously reward agents who are consistently out there looking professional and adding value to people on a consistent basis. So this whole website with a blog and everything that's at your fingertips and all included for us, I think is a superb addition to your personal branding. Right. Now, we're going to look at something different. So when we're talking about listing properties and marketing properties, obviously, as we said, the property portals are obviously essential. Our local property portals like Property 24 and Private Property. And we all use them, and we must use them. And we sell most of our properties off them. But here's the limitation of portals. Portals actually only, you've got to think about this. Portals only reach buyers who are actively searching right now. Okay. So to see your listing, the buyer actually has to go onto the portal. He has to search in that specific suburb where your listing is. And he actually has to search in the correct price range where your listing is. Otherwise, he doesn't find it. Okay. So if they're not actually actively searching today with all those criteria, your listings actually simply just don't exist to that buyer. All right. So that's where there is a huge gap. And people's attention has moved, right? We all know people spend how much 80% of their time online and on social media and on WhatsApp and email, etc. People are not just sitting on property portals all day, but they are on social media, right? They are on Facebook, they are on Instagram. And if you want to reach them, that's actually where their attention is. So you need to try and catch their attention there. Okay. So this is, we've been using paid marketing for a very, very, very long time for our listings. And I can promise you, I can show you our stats on a year-to-year basis, probably the last 8 years that I've been using it. Half of our sales comes off paid social media marketing, even though they're all listed on the property portals. We all know that feeling. You know, you list something on the property portals and 3 weeks later it's died a slow death sometimes, and then you don't know what to do. Okay, but so the point is, why can paid social advertising so often actually beat the portals to get you sales? It's like I've said already. So the portals are passive, as you see on the slide there. You actually post your listing and you sit and wait, right? It's a passive game. So, and while you've done that, you're competing with 50 similar listings in the same area. And you just hope someone's going to search them and actually going to click on your listing and come through to you. Paid ads on social media. Remember, I'm not talking organic ads on your profile because they don't go very far. Good to do, but they're not going to reach very far. So paid ads, on the other hand, are proactive. You're not sitting there waiting. You're proactive. You push the listing to the right people. You target your ads based on people's recent behavior. So Facebook's very clever. We know that they track your online behavior. So you target it to people who are probably going to be interested in buying property. So you're actually targeting people's intent, right? What is their intention? But they don't have to come and look for you. You're going to look for them. So you're reaching buyers who are not actively looking today, or they're just not looking at your specific listing, all right? So in this way, you're going to reach buyers before they even start searching often as well. And that's really, really powerful. So just, again, okay, as I said just now, important to remember, organic social media posts, which you post simply on your own profile, that's great, and it's good for you to be visible, but it's not going to reach necessarily the right people. I mean, Facebook is a pay-for-play type of platform. If you really want to be serious, they want some money out of you. Okay, but you can be very successful. So organic has a very limited reach, but paid ads can be very, very successful. Now, I often hear people say they do pay ads and they lose money. Now, obviously, it's not magic. You're spending money on Property 24 as well, whether it's you or your agency. It doesn't always work, but nevertheless, so many agents say that they lose money. Okay, but I say that they're not losing money really. They're losing money because they got bad ads. So again, let's put it this way. Most agents don't lose money on ads. They lose money because the ad is shown to the wrong people. Okay, or the ad creative, which is what it looks like, doesn't catch attention, or otherwise there's no follow-up system, proper follow-up system. So those are the reasons often we'll waste money on ads. So it's not that the money is disappearing when you're placing paid ads. It's actually just producing, people are seeing it, but the wrong people. So it's producing views with no outcome. If that makes sense. It does make sense. I know it makes sense. Okay. So when these ads are actually done right and with the right system, they become much more predictable and not a gamble anymore. Okay. So, okay, let's carry on, and it's going to become more clear. So the flow system which we use, it fixes a couple of things that are very difficult about paid ads. So firstly, meta ads are very powerful. Meta is the company that owns Facebook and Instagram. So meta ads are very powerful, but the back end, which I've been using for many years prior to us getting Flow, the Flow system, the back end is very messy and very technical. It's really very technical, and you can easily get it wrong. Okay, it's very easy to waste money if you don't target people correctly and so on. Now, the Flow system that we use fixes the three hard parts, basically, that usually cause an ad to fail and not produce any results. So firstly, it fixes the targeting part, so finding the audience that will actually match this listing that could be interested in it. Then the creative part, which is the visuals, right? Making sure it's structured correctly and it's attractive and gets attention. And then, of course, the follow-up. So what happens once they have attracted attention and someone's interested? What is the follow-up to make sure that leads that you do actually possibly get off here don't just die quietly? Okay, so the Flow system makes Facebook ads very easy and plug and play. Right, so as I said previously, remember, firstly, in PropCon, you could have chosen, do you want your property to feed through to Flow? If you've chosen that, then when you go from your Okta into the Flow system, your property will be sitting there, the whole listing, ready for you to market if you so choose. Remember, obviously, we're talking paid ads. So the Flow system, which makes it very easy, that's included for us. That's just there. We have it. It makes our life very easy. But when you do choose to actually place a paid ad, you will have to pay for the Facebook paid part of it, obviously, the ad spend, right? Okay, so you go into Flow, very simple. It's a lovely system. It just removes the complexity, right? It integrates, as I said, from PropCon. Your listing pulls through automatically. It's sitting there waiting for you to market if you wish. And then it targets people based on real property-related online behavior and interests. Okay, and the system takes care of that part. So it optimizes automatically to make sure you're going to reach the right type of person within the areas you choose. So you don't need to be a Meta or Facebook ads technician. Okay, this system is designed to help us produce professional ads fast that get results. Okay, that's just a little image anyway, but anyway, we'll talk a little bit about this. So again, remember, you're not inside the Meta or the Facebook ads manager. You're in Flow. You're not building campaigns from scratch either. You choose whether you want what type of ad, whether it's a branding ad or a listing ad, as you'll see there. And then you simply, if it's a listing, you choose your listing, which is fed through automatically, and you click generate. It's very easy. It's plug and play. Okay, so it really removes the technical barrier that stops most agents from ever running paid ads on social media. And here's a powerful part. This is just a quick screenshot within Flow, which is one of the things you get to choose. So you don't only necessarily target the suburb that the property is in, which is what Property 24 and the other portals are doing. You can target similar suburbs. You can target other relocation markets. You can target people based on their recent online behavior, but they might not actually be on Property 24 at the moment. So many buyers that are looking in other suburbs even, let's just say, than your suburb, where your listing is, might actually buy your listing or would have bought your listing, but they never get to see it on the portals, right? Because they are just for some reason, they're not searching in your listing suburb. But if they actually saw your listing and went and looked at it, they might actually buy it. So this really expands your reach strategically, the way you can target multiple areas. Okay, so the styling within Flow is easy. It's clean. It's modern, and makes your ad look polished. You can tweak the ad wording so that you do have some flexibility. Obviously, you can change the photos because it has your whole listings, all the photos there. You can decide what photos to use. You can adjust the headline. And then eventually you just simply choose your budget that you want to spend, so much per day for so many days or whatever. And then that obviously goes to Facebook itself. And then you just launch the ad. It's easy, it's controlled, it's simple, it's fast. Okay. This is pretty much what a buyer sees. This is a phone. Obviously, you could look on his PC as well. So you know when you're scrolling Facebook and you get what's called a sponsored ad. But now with the Flow system, you're starting to target the right people so that when they're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, they will start seeing your ad. So while scrolling his or her social media, people will now see your ad. And if they actually match the targeting, they'll see your listing. So you're not actually waiting anymore for buyers to show up. This is the whole point, which is what happens in the portals. You're not waiting for them to just show up to your listing. You are now showing up, right? You're showing up with your listing to them. That's the important differentiator here. Okay, then the other thing. So when they click on the ad, I mean, it was just a short ad with the one photo, so they don't really know much about the property. But when they click on your ad, they don't go straight to you now. They first go to a full branded listing page that's hosted again on the Flow platform, your full listing. That's the full property description, all the photos, the video if you had one. So when they actually do contact you from there, then they're now a warm lead. Okay, it's not just somebody clicking through randomly wondering what the property is about. They've really seen the details. So a strong landing page can really actually double the actual quality of the leads that you're going to be receiving, which is great. Okay, and then obviously you can go and look at any ad's performance and see how many views you've got, how many clicks, what the engagement is. You can eventually learn what works and what doesn't, and that helps you to improve your future listings again. So again, I must say, portals are necessary, but paid ads give you real leverage and you become proactive. Okay, and when you combine both, you really are starting to dominate reach and become visible. And I've got to say this again, it's not only about the listing, because when your sellers see this strategy and they even see your paid ads online because they're in those areas and etc. This is how you win your future mandates as well. Okay, what's very exciting from our Flow platform, which now does the Meta, Facebook and Instagram for us, this is coming very, very soon for EXP agents as well. So Flow is not just standing still. Very soon, we're also going to have Google Ads integration directly inside Flow. They're busy working on it as we speak. So just so you know, I've played with Google Ads as well. Now, Google Ads are extremely powerful, but they are very, very technical to get right, even more so than social media paid ads. very technical. You need to target the correct strategic keywords, not just keywords, also keyword phrases. You have to target the correct negative keywords and negative keyword phrases. And if you get this wrong, you can waste money very, very quickly. I have learned that the hard way, and I know how to do it, but it's very technical. But if you get it right, it can be very effective. Okay, so instead of only running social ads, we'll actually soon be able to combine social and search basically in one system. Okay, and that's going to expand our reach even further. Very excited about that. Right, now you're marketing on all the portals and all the social media and all that type of thing. But as you see there, great marketing also needs great design. So marketing will only work no matter who you push it out to. It's only going to work if the design looks professional and trustworthy and actually attracts attention. Okay. And as we all know, okay, most of us agents, we don't have time or design skills, right? We don't have enough time. We also don't necessarily have the skills. And this is just talking about your general social media presence as well. So that's why tools like Canva Pro, for instance, become incredibly valuable. Canva Pro is, for me, the benchmark for design, okay, in the world. Anyway, so tools like that let you produce high quality marketing material in minutes without having to rely on outsiders to produce it for you, which takes time and costs a lot of money. Okay, so basically, remember, professional design instantly elevates your brand, and we have the tools obviously to make it very, very easy for us. Okay, so again, from our Okta, we all have access to Canva Pro, a full Canva Pro account, which has millions of templates that we can use, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so no matter what you want to do, from social media posts to property brochures, for sale boards, business cards, signatures on your email, anything, it's very, very easy. There's millions of templates. Everything is just drag and drop, very simple once you get to know it. And it's one of the most user-friendly tools for a busy agent. Okay. For us, it's a key part of our consistent personal branding as well. Okay. Saves us hours every week and makes sure we've got a strong presence. So Canva Pro, just a bit about that. I have already said quite a bit, but it does take things a step further with advanced branding features, etc., etc. So you also get access, by the way, because we've got Canva Pro, but EXP actually has one of the largest Canva Pro accounts in the world. We have a separate enterprise section. So you also get access to the EXP section, which is separate from all the other millions of templates that you have access to. So these are EXP branded templates, okay? And then you also get access to many AI tools within Canva, which we'll have a bit of a look at. So it helps you really, you can create presentations, flyers, banners, sold boards, newsletters, anything you can think of very, very easily. So this is what makes you look polished out there without necessarily needing a professional designer, as I said, who takes time, but also costs a lot of money. So this is one of our most valuable tools as well. And then within Canva, it's exciting. They're just developing it all the time. So you've got Canva's Magic Studio, right, which adds AI power to everything. There's so much you can do in there, and it's improving all the time. You can remove backgrounds from pictures. You can replace objects in pictures. You can clean up images, brighten them, lighten them, generate images. It just turns complicated design tasks into basically simple and easy actions for you. Okay. So it can really, this allows any agent to produce high quality marketing material in minutes. Okay, now AI tools like these give you the professional sort of results without needing professional skills and without having to use professionals. All right. And as I said, within Canva, you will have a lot of branded templates. These are just a few examples, which just makes it easy for you. For us, in any case, already branded newsletters, anything you can think of, social media posts, tips for sellers and buyers, things like that, whatever you can think of. Okay, lots of EXP branded templates as well. Right, so now we're going to move on. So we've covered lead generation and we've covered all the superior marketing tools. And when you've been using all of that correctly, obviously you are sure to start generating sales, right? So now we're moving into the transactions and how are these handled efficiently and correctly. So as you obviously know, I mean, any real estate transaction has multiple stages and multiple moving parts and multiple parties involved, deadlines, etc. So if you don't have a proper solid system, again, things can actually easily fall through the cracks and you can sometimes just lose control. So that's why tracking your deals properly is absolutely essential. So again, for us, this is back into PropCon again. PropCon solves all this for us. And it's just very important. A good transaction management system is just essential to protect your commission and protect your client relationships and your reputation. Okay. So, talking about the PropCon deal tracking component within PropCon, it gives us a structured visual dashboard for all our deals. You can track various milestones, get reminders about them. You can link the parties to it if you want so that they can also know what's going on. You can upload all the relevant documents into one place. So all this eventually reduces your stress and keeps your clients informed and helps you to know everything is being kept on track as well. So, you know, a clear transaction workflow, that just builds trust with everybody. They know you're on top of it. Okay. Again, you simply go into PropCon from the Okta dashboard, as you already know now, and then you just simply go to the deal tracking part of it. And I'm not going to go in depth again. So if you're on a specific transaction, you've got all the menu tabs at the top there. So the info, etc., the drive where you would upload all the documents, etc. You can make notes, you can add people, and so on and so forth. Once your deal is final and you know everything's ready, you simply click the button at the top which says notify the transaction team, and then EXP transaction team get notified of it so that they can take over and make sure everything is compliant, everything is good, and so on and so forth. Okay, not going to spend too much time there. Now, talking about transactions, we've got to talk about compliance. Okay, with transactions comes a lot of compliance responsibility. We all know that. Compliance is really one of the biggest stress points for South African agents. Our laws are really strict. They really are. And one mistake can lead to really hefty penalties or even worse. Okay, and really this is happening on a daily basis, where FIC is inspecting people, and agents as well as agencies are being fined huge penalties. But if you have the right systems, then this compliance becomes actually simple and safe. So let's look at how we handle FICA. We have systems in place for this, so we can handle it properly and responsibly. Okay. So our FICA system, basically we integrate through our Okta dashboard, and we integrate with an external system, which is used to be called DocFox, it's now called Encino. So on the Encino system, either you can invite your clients and they can upload their own documents securely onto the Encino system, which are all the documents that are needed, depending whether they're a natural person or a company or whatever. The system actually guides you to exactly what it needs. So they can either upload their own documents, or you can, as per usual, collect them yourself and then capture them yourself on the Encino system under that buyer or seller's profile. But within Encino, it's also important to know that automatic screening checks are taking place for sanctions lists and to make sure that you're minimizing fraud risk and etc. So this system really removes the fear and the risk around FICA completely for us. So again, you simply log in on your Okta dashboard and you're in there. This is just a dummy profile, pretty much what it looks like. On the left, you'll see, I mean, you would upload identity documents, proof of address, etc. But we're going to talk a bit about these watch lists and media searches as well. So this is just a glimpse of what it looks like. It's nice and clean, structured. You create a profile for a client, you upload all the documents, or otherwise they do it themselves. But now, this is the big thing, is very, very important. Encino in the background goes and checks your client against a whole lot of United Nations sanctions lists, terrorist lists, PIP lists, which is people of important lists, etc. These are things you are supposed to be doing. And we have found that 90% of agents are not. If your client something happens and it's found that he was on one of those lists and you didn't flag it, you're going to be in big, big trouble. Okay. So are you checking all your clients against those lists? Now, the Encino system does this for us in the background. Okay. So it's really keeping us safe, and it gives us a lot of peace of mind. And it turns something that's usually stressful into a streamlined process. Right. Just another system we have access to, but it's always worth knowing. As you know, sellers and even agents often might need access to some funds resulting from a sale even before transfer takes place, right? It's very common for sellers to need funds, whether they need it for COCs or maybe because they've got to pay for moving costs, or maybe they have to pay a deposit on their next home, whatever the case may be. It might be agreed in the offer to purchase that they have to make some other major repair from their side before transfer takes place, and they need money. Right. And then agents on the other side, we know sometimes we're in an up and down business. Sometimes cash flow is not so hot, but you've got a deal that is final. So we also sometimes need a bit of an advance on our commissions, just to sort of navigate a potential negative cash flow from time to time. So these are situations we don't want to be in, but sometimes we are. But anyway, a simple and paperless bridging solution. There are lots of bridging companies out there, but we use a simple paperless bridging solution that makes these situations just so much easier. Okay, so what we use is a system called SnapIt. It provides fast, paperless bridging finance for sellers or agents. So sellers can easily access the funds that they need if they do. Once a deal is final, of course. Agents, again, on the other hand, as I mentioned, that you can sort of unlock a portion of your commission. It's quick to use, it's easy, it's completely digital. So yeah, very, very easy. But now what the nice thing about it also is, I just want to mention, is if you refer a seller to SnapIt and as an EXP agent, and the seller actually does use them, you will also be paid a referral commission depending on how much they borrowed, etc. That's just one of them. We get paid lots of third-party referral commissions in EXP, and this is one of them. Okay, so again, I mean, it's absolute access right from your Okta dashboard. You can access the SnapIt tool. You can either refer a seller or whatever. You'll see there's on the right is commission SnapIt. People can use SnapIt to finance renovations or solar as well. And then the usual seller snap, which we've just spoken about now. Okay, you all know this type of situation can be very, very frustrating. So you've got a hot listing maybe, right? Suddenly you've got multiple buyers, and suddenly your phone just rings off the hook and doesn't stop ringing, and you end up you've got pressure, you've got timing pressure, you've got buyers that are starting to get emotional because they really want the property. Paperwork can become total chaos, right? And timing and seeing all the buyers. This is exactly where deals often fall apart, okay? And more importantly, where misunderstandings very often take over and people get upset. It doesn't necessarily happen because you're a bad agent or because I'm a bad agent, but simply because we're trying to manage this chaos manually, and it's difficult. So the question begs itself, how can we fix this? Okay. We have a solution. EXP's IBID digital offer system, right? So instead of chasing around after buyers and handling multiple offers and WhatsApp and emails and trying to schedule appointments with 6 people who all want to make an offer today and they can't do it tomorrow because they're flying overseas and this and everything, right? So we use our own IBID system. So it's basically EXP's digital offer system. It manages our offers digitally if we choose to use it. You don't have to, but you can for any listing. You can use this, and basically it removes the chaos, right? When it's difficult, as I've mentioned, to get to see buyers at mutually convenient times, or when there's multi offer situation. You know, when all the buyers are hounding you, I want to put in an offer now. So it's going to save you time. It's going to save you a lot of time, in fact, and it's going to help a lot with a stressful situation. Okay, bring you peace of mind. It brings structure. That's the word I'm looking for. Bring structure into what is normally very messy and can be very emotional. Okay, that's pretty much how it works. So when a buyer wants to make an offer, we can simply send them a link, a secure link. The system then guides them step by step. You have to just set up the system prior with all the properties details, and then we simply send them a link for that specific property on the IBID system. The system then guides the buyer step by step in making his offer, right? The system will ask him every necessary question that's needed to complete an OTP. What's the price? Do you need a bond? Are you selling your property? Oh, everything, right? The system will then compile a structured OTP automatically. Plus, just as an extra, all documents such as, let's say, the property condition report, the fixtures list if you have one, or any documents that you actually want to form part of the OTP, you would also have uploaded initially onto the system. And then the buyers would also have to acknowledge those as part of this whole process. So, but anyway, it's nice and structured. You're going to have no missing pages. You're going to have no incomplete clauses, properly compiled OTP with no confusion. So then this is pretty much what a buyer receives, just a quick screenshot. So he receives an invitation where you say, if you want to make an offer on this property, here we go, because he's told you he wants to, and then they are guided through the whole process from there. So at this stage, there's no meetings required. You could handle 10 offers simultaneously. Okay, so you could have 10 buyers busy making offers at the same time. So no meetings required, just to draft the offer. It's nice and structured, it's controlled right from the start. So once it's complete, as I said, then the OTP is digitally created and also digitally signed by the buyer. And yes, I know at this stage, hopefully it will change at some stage, but the Alienation of Land Act, we know, still requires wet ink signatures. And so we will still take care of that, but at least you've got a structured OTP. You just need to get the wet ink signatures a little bit later. So right now, the agreement is already clean and aligned and properly drawn up with very little fuss on your part. So you could even have 10 OTPs, but even if it's one buyer or 10, it makes it very easy. And then getting the wet ink signatures, as I said, is the easy part after this. Okay, so the system just automatically keeps buyers informed at every single stage, right? They get a confirmation of their offer. Thank you for the offer. This is what it looks like. If you set it up as a bidding system, which is a separate thing that you can do, so that buyers actually bid against each other, that's a fantastic thing. But if you do set it up as that, they'll get notified all the time whether another offer comes in that's maybe higher than theirs and so on. So, and what the final outcome is, etc. So they get properly informed. So I'm not going to go through this all along the way. They will be guided depending on what's happening on their offer, and they'll always know what is happening until eventually being informed whether the offer was successful or not. And then, as I said, once you know the buyer and the seller are all in agreement, then you simply need to obtain the necessary wet ink signatures. But the whole process was easy. Okay. Sorry. So your paperwork is simply a procedure. It's not stressful. So you take a sip of water. So again, what this offers is, it's not just for your benefit, right? It's not just for multiple offers, etc. So even in a single offer situation, it ensures that the offer is complete and professional and structured from the start. Okay. And as you'll see there, I mean, for sellers, this is again a big differentiator. When you do listing descriptions, you say this is how we can handle how we can handle offers if necessary. Then sellers know that when there are multiple buyers, that we can actually run an open order sealed bidding process, or just simply take digital offers, and they know that creates fair competition and removes suspicion. And they can see clearly what is happening, and they really, really trust it because they don't think you are letting offers slip through the cracks or anything, or favoring people. Right, so very, very important for, what did I do now? For sellers. Right. And for buyers on the other hand, they're usually very happy with this because they really love this system, because they realize they are being treated fairly. They don't think somebody is getting an unfair advantage. If there's 10 offers, there's 10 offers, and the seller can choose the one he wants. And of course, he can choose backup offers after that. Anyway, so they can submit their complete offers. They receive proper communication throughout the whole process. There's no suspicion on their part. They don't feel that someone was favored, as I mentioned. So it just really creates a professional and modern experience, and just takes a little stress off you as the agent as well. And when buyers feel treated fairly, obviously they also behave better and more seriously. Okay. So let's just be clear, iBid is not just about convenience, and it's not just about saving time. As I've mentioned again, all these tools are not just tools; they're also there to win you business. So iBid is also about basically positioning yourself as the go-to agent. So when you can show a seller that you manage offers transparently, and that buyers are treated fairly, etc. Just want to see if there's Mic on here. I can hear a mic. Yes. I'm going to mute it. Please keep your mics muted. Where was I? Office managed professionally, etc. Where's the slide? Here we go. Anyway, so yeah, you are going to be the go-to agent. So when you can show them all these things, then you immediately, basically, again, elevate yourself above other agents. You're no longer just another agent taking offers manually. They now see you as the professional, right? The agent with superb systems. And that's a huge, huge differentiator. Man, this is one of my favorite words. A huge differentiator when you're actually doing listing presentations, trying to get the mandate. Okay. Let's move on to something different. As you see, the agents need fast, organized communication. So this is, for instance, within companies and so on. WhatsApp groups, we know, they quickly get messy. Sometimes emails get buried and lost in the masses and so on. So we need a proper and secure communication platform. That's very, very important for agents. EXP has certain systems in place which helps communication between agents and the company as well as inter-agent. So we pretty much use a system called Slack. We also have a system called the EXP Hub. I'm not going to go in depth into this, but the nice thing about the Slack, for instance, connects us to the whole almost 90,000 agents worldwide. You can connect with any agent worldwide through Slack, right? You have direct access. You can even access the CEO of EXP International. Everybody in EXP is on Slack. So you also have, obviously you have access to groups. You can also create groups. So you can access groups or create groups for a specific country or a region or a speciality or maybe your suburb where you can share things and so on. So it makes the entire, you can almost say the whole EXP network, it just feels alive and accessible. Okay, so you simply go in there into Slack, there we go. Right, next thing, problem we often have, hunting for the right documents, right? Where do we find the right documents? Where do you find the right OTP, the up-to-date OTP? Because they change often. Clauses get added by the legal department. Clauses get changed depending whether the Property Act change or the Consumer Protection Act changes or whatever. So you're always hunting for OTPs and mandate documents and where do I find the latest addendum, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so again, for us, it's pretty easy. We have an agent center. It's online. It solves this problem for us. You'll always know where to find the latest, correct, and up-to-date OTP or mandate or addendum or property condition report. And you can access it from anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. You can even access it on your phone and then have it printed out somewhere if you're not at the office. Okay, so it's very convenient and also, of course, reduces the risk of non-compliance or not being compliant because you're using outdated documents. Okay, so again, simply from the agent center, from Okta, you simply click on the agent center, you go in, you navigate around there, you can find all the documents you need. I'm not going to go into depth here. This, for instance, is all your office documents. That's your OTPs and your addendums, sole mandates. So you simply click on it, download it as either a PDF or a Word document, and you know you have the latest one. You also have access to company documents. So suddenly somebody, maybe a transferring attorney, he wants the company's FFC or he needs the principal of EXP South Africa's FFC or whatever, you know where to find it. You simply go there. The latest one will always be there, and you just download it and send it. Very, very easy. Just makes things easier. And in the same agent center, you've got your branding guidelines, all the latest logos that are compliant for EXP, etc. I'm not going to go into depth there. Okay, we're going to be moving on now to section 3. So up to now, we've seen the tools and the systems that help you work smarter. We've covered lead generation, lead nurturing, listing and marketing systems, how to elevate your presence and your design and your personal brand. Now we're going to look at and sort of start shifting to how you get supported, what training you do on an ongoing basis to make sure you're upskilling yourself, and just personal agent growth in general. And we're going to be moving into AI as well. So this is, okay, let's move on to the next slide. So section 3, there we go. This is basically the part that helps agents grow steadily and sustainably and receive the necessary support they need when they need it. Okay, we're going to be looking, as I said, at training, at a few AI tools, at virtual offices, multiple income streams that even work together we can touch on. But it all creates a business environment where we as the agents really generally can scale and grow and keep up with the times and grow our businesses without burning out. Very, very important. Okay. This is a fact. It doesn't help we just qualify ourselves as an agent today or 10 years ago and then we think that's it, right? You've got to stay up to date. Times are changing, pretty much like you're sitting on this, pretty much like you attended my ChatGPT webinar. You've got to stay with the times, in whether it's legal stuff, whether it's technology, whatever it is, marketing trends. But someone, yeah, muted. Okay. Right, I've lost my train of thought. Educated and up to date. There we go. So, obviously, agents who stay educated and receive the relevant, up to date training all the time, they are going to also eventually outperform other agents. The nice thing is these days, modern training actually has no boundaries if you have access to it. You can learn just about anything, anytime, and anywhere, right? And from anywhere. There must be. The other thing is you need access, not just like on a local office where you get taught something this Friday. You need access which is sort of for every experience level. So depending on your experience level. So from a new agent to a seasoned producer, you would need different types of training. The question is, where do you get access to this type of training? So, I mean, I am talking a lot about our systems, but it's very important. So to have world-class training always available. So in our system, training sessions run live every single week, firstly. Plus, they're often repeated so no one misses out. We have a fantastic system called EXP University globally, which gives us on-demand training with both global and local content. Then all the top producers, which we call icon agents, who reach a certain production level, they are actually encouraged because they get given shares within EXP to do this. So they are encouraged to teach agents what's busy working for them right now in the market. So you can tap into their knowledge. We really do, we need continuous education designed for real world application in this business. And just again, congratulations to everybody who attends webinars like the ChatGPT webinar we present, etc. I mean, that just means you're on the right track because we do want to keep learning. Okay, but on that, right, so again, our Okta dashboard, this is the EXP University, which is an international platform. Yeah, you can pretty much, there are courses for everything. So everything is structured into categories, whether it's marketing or lead generation or systems or artificial intelligence. I mean, there you'll see the latest, one of the latest ones is an AI accelerator program. Fantastic. It was, I think, 8 or 9 sessions, various people using things in different ways with great success. But anyway, so you can jump into any course, watch it all at your own pace. So it really does make your professional, improvement and development. It makes it simple and consistent, and you'll grow as fast as you want to grow at your own pace. Okay, and then on the SA educational front, so we've got what we call South African agent learning paths. And there again, there's various different things. But it's basically tailored, sort of aimed specifically at South African agents and the South African laws, etc. But these different pathways will guide new and experienced agents step by step, all depending on their current level of expertise. So there's different pathways, party production, party capping, etc., and various other things, which depending where you are in your sort of experience level, it'll take you to the next level. And it's all beautifully laid out. And you never left guessing where you can find things to improve yourself. And then, of course, our own YouTube channel with lots of recorded local training that happens on a weekly basis and then gets recorded and presented by our national coach, who is absolutely fantastic. Okay, but all that is at your disposal as well. Right, now moving on to support. Every agent needs fast and reliable support. Okay, decent agent support. Decent agent support is actually a huge weakness in many traditional agencies. They like not to say that, but it really is, because agents need real answers and they need it fast, and they need fast solutions when things go wrong. And the question is, where do you go for instant support? Okay, I mean, you can go to, if we were in the office set up ourselves, you go there, then the person you need is not there, or they're off sick. plus you've spent an hour in traffic getting there, etc., etc. But anyway, so I'll show you how EXP handles it. As you know, EXP is a cloud-based business, but that is actually, it actually makes it more supportive, which is quite amazing, and you only really realize it once you're in. But anyway, so the point is, we get support on an ongoing basis, but we get it without the schlep of traffic. We get it without having to wait in an office because someone's not there or whatever. We get it without stress. So you can pretty much work from anywhere without sacrificing the support you need, or of course, as we've already mentioned, the training you need. So now suddenly your office, which supplies you with support and supports you, is actually wherever you are. Wherever you are right now, that's where your support structure is. All right. So I'm going to be introducing EXP World to you. This is our world where everything happens. This is where support becomes completely different from anything you've ever seen before. Okay, EXP World gives you a full support system right in your pocket, as I've mentioned. So you've got a reception section, you've got specialized departments, depending who you need to speak to. You can hold meetings, there are boardrooms, everything you need. I'm going to give you a quick glimpse of it. So whenever you need help, whether it's with listings or transactions or tech or whatever, you simply walk into the virtual office and you get support. Okay, you don't even have to get dressed up, you don't have to get in your car, you just walk in with your avatar. Okay, so there's always someone there available to assist you. Quite amazing, quite amazing. Okay, so again, from Okta, you simply go into EXP World. So this, for instance, is a typical, I recorded a quick session just as I walked in here, which I'll play now. This is just the reception area in the EXP South Africa part of the world. So this is where you come, depending on your problem. Right at this stage, Irene was there. We've got quite a few concierge staff who rotate, obviously, but there will always be someone at reception. I'm going to play this video for you. I'm hoping, I just need to make sure volume is up here. Just give me one moment. There we go. Okay, I hope you can hear. Just a quick intro.
Hello, Andre. How are you?
Hi, Irene. Very well, thanks. And you?
Good. How can I help you?
Man, I'm actually just taking a couple of agents on a tour of all the offices. So I'll go ahead, and you must have a wonderful day.
Fantastic. If you have any questions, please don't be shy to come and visit me at the reception.
Thanks so much, Irene. Thanks a lot. Bye. And that gives you an idea. Yeah, I'm just starting to walk down the office. I'm not going to go right through. Where you'll see all the offices on your left and on your right, which we will talk a little bit about. So as you see there, I mean, as you saw as I was starting to walk down the corridor there are dedicated offices for all management and every single support staff. So you would go to Irene or whoever at reception, they'll send you to the right person, and every department you need is in the world. You simply walk in, ask your question, and a real human being will help you. Okay, so that level of quick, direct access to support, up to now, that's been unheard of in our industry. We are very, very spoiled. Okay. Now, whoever you're going to, every one of these offices, so if you go and see someone maybe in the transaction department, so every one of these offices works just like a real meeting room. Basically, you go and sit down there, you'll see on the wall, there's all sorts of things. You can share your screen, they can share their screen to show them things, or you can show them what you're battling with, and you get things sorted out in real time. Okay, issues really get resolved quickly and on the spot. It's just so hands-on, okay? And again, you didn't need to travel even. And then you often travel and you find the office to be empty. And then what? Okay, with an EXP, if the office is empty, there'll be someone else to help you. Okay, I've got a mark issue here again. Ian Ackerman. Ian, somehow or another, I'm not sure why, but your mic keeps unmuting. I've just muted it again. Okay, thanks, guys. Right, so here's just an example of a boardroom, for instance, or a meeting room. So here we can host meetings, you can host meetings. If you've got a team, you can host meetings. If you want to meet clients, you can do that. We can host smaller training sessions in here. So these spaces just allow groups of agents to meet, collaborate, learn together, etc. Also screens on the wall where you can share your screen, share websites, play videos, whatever is necessary in that specific session. This is next level. And remember, all of this is simply accessed on your web browser or on your phone. You simply go, if you use Google Chrome or you use Firefox, whatever a web browser you use to access the internet, it's just a link and in you go. It's so easy and so quick. All right. Then auditoriums like this is a bigger setup where I think you can take up to 1,500 people. So this is used for bigger events and training sessions and maybe national monthly meetings, etc. So whenever there's something important happening and you want to go in, you simply log in and go in, no travel, no stress, no traveling, no worrying about anything. And it's smooth, and they set up the screens, one screen for every presenter, so people aren't fumbling like on a Google Meet, trying to share their screens, and then the next guy's trying to. They set it up before, and so when the agent team comes in, it's fast and quick and efficient. Okay. Then there are multiple info hubs within EXP World as you walk around there, so you can even go in the middle of the night if you want. And these hubs give you quick access if you need information about any of the systems, many of those that we've been discussing today, like flow marketing or IBID, etc., or info about any of our third-party providers where we earn referral commissions. So you can go in there, and there's a room for everybody, and you can go in there, watch videos, download documents, and get anything you need. Plus, if you look on the one picture there, right bottom, there's a transaction bot room, for instance. We've got bots, trained AI bots in EXP World that have been trained and set up so that they can actually help you even after hours. So you go in there, you ask the bot questions about certain things, and they've been trained with all the right information to most likely answer your question sufficiently. Okay, so basically 24 hours support. Right. Now, just for interest's sake, this is fantastic. I love this, right? Individual offices for every single EXP agent in the world. What if you want your own private virtual office? This is not something you have to have. So that if it looks too techy for you, it's great. Don't worry, but in time. But the future is moving here. What if you want your own private virtual office? So, right, okay. Now, here's the thing. Every single EXP agent has the opportunity to design their own private office. Then you'll have your own link, which you can give to clients or anybody, and they can go and meet you in the office, or they can just go and browse around, depending what you've set up. I'll show you what I've done. It's just quite amazing. So you can meet clients there, or you can meet other agents there. You can do consultations. You can do presentations from start to finish. It's fully customizable. Again, everything you've seen to now, you can put up your own screens and documents on the walls and videos. You can create your own chatbots and teach them. So yeah, it's like your own professional office or boardroom, really, again, that you carry in your pocket, right? So let's have a quick look at that. This is just pretty much a quick snapshot of an office I have set up for ourselves. And this is so easy to access. You just simply go to exp.world/Cape Town. That's my link. So it's as easy as that. Once you give somebody that, they go in here, and this is what they see. And they can either browse around on their own, or they can ask our chatbot questions, or we can meet them there and take them through any process from start to finish, whether you want to sign mandates. Especially handy for international clients. And of course, the younger are really enjoying this. You send them in here, it's fantastic. Okay, and again, it's just showing people that you are part of the future. Okay, so here I'm going to quickly just play a video. I'm going to start it immediately. This is just the same place I just showed you the screenshot of. So you'll see as I've set it up, your walls are blank until you set them up. So I've put up all sorts of information. I've put up links to my videos. You can put your properties in there where people can go and look at links to the third-party providers. As I said, you can share your screen. There's a whiteboard you can write and scribble on. That's a little video of us. You can put your documents, OTPs. There we go. Your soul manners. People simply click on there and zoom in, and they can look at it page by page, or you can look at it with them and discuss it with them. So it's really, really next level. Okay. That was the quick run through. So as you saw, as you were walking around there, there's so many things. You can also put up things there so you can share your screen. As I said, you could share your webcam. You can play videos. You can show people documents. It's really fantastic if you think about it, even for virtual listing appointments and buyer consultations if people are far away. And people really do love this, but it's flexibility at its best. That's the big thing. Okay, professional, convenient, and easy. Remember, you don't have to make use of this, but your clients are they are wowed when they see these things. Okay, again, I mean, just more. There's links to our third-party providers. So I can explain anything for a buyer or a seller right within this office, and we can go through the whole process. Okay. This is just something next level I want to show you as well. I mean, you can obviously, as I said, you can showcase your listings and people can look at listings and look at the photos and click on them and go to the website and see the video and so on. But now here's another thing. Let's say you have a buyer and he is interested in one of the specific listings. I can now go and set up a street view. It's a 3D sphere within my office. So I set up a street view for that specific address. Now, when I've got the client here in the office with me, so there's me and there's a fictitious client that was actually Lydia. I click on there and I walk into the street view with the client next to me. So now we're in the street view and I'm busy discussing things and showing them the area. I'm going to just show you this to you because I've made a quick video as well. So I've set up this for a specific address because I know the client's interested in it. And I say, all right, meet me in the office. Let's have a quick look because they're not here to have a look at the place. So they've seen the property. They've seen the property video. Now I go and show them this. So you simply now click on the sphere that I have created. And there we go. Now we are together in a street view. So I can walk up and down with my client, who in this case is Lydia. I can walk up and down. We can look right and look left. I can say, look, here's the neighbor's house. So you can see it's a decent area. Here's more neighbors. Look at the views. You can show them the area, right? This is just next level for somebody who's not here. Go to the local school. So this is what the school looks like where you want to send your child to. Here's the closest shops, whatever. Okay. And once you're done, it's a simple process of you just simply click exit, which I'm going to do now. And then you're back in the office, and now you can discuss the property further. You can look at the mandate documents. You can discuss the whole process of bond pre-approval, whatever you want to do right here in your office and get the process going. Okay, the main thing is it's next level technology that we have at our disposal. I need to move on. There we go. Plus, while you've got people in there and you're chatting to them, you can translate into 30 languages. So you can either, there's a chat box, so you can obviously type in the chat box, and if I've chosen my language as whatever, and my client's chosen his as German, I will type in English. He will see it translated into German immediately. He types back in German, I see it in English, and that type of thing. You just set up the languages for you and your client. But it's not only text to text, it's also speech to text. I can actually speak to him, and it'll, in a live translation, translate it into text for him in his language. And when he speaks back in his language, it translates. It's sounding very complicated. But this is the point. This was a real conversation where I was speaking. I had Lydia come in from another computer just to demonstrate it. And I had set her language up as Afrikaans. I was speaking this in English, and she was seeing the right-hand side in Afrikaans on her computer. So whatever I was saying, she was saying. And when she answered me, I would then, she would answer in Afrikaans and I would see it in English. Okay, but you can do that with any language, obviously. I did it with English and Afrikaans because I understand those languages. I would at least know if it's accurate. But it's top-notch translation software. Okay. And then, of course, as you saw, when we were walking around there, I can set up my own personalized AI chatbot right inside my virtual office. I can teach it to answer common questions and guide clients and support things, and etc. So it's just a great example again of blending AI with your real estate in a practical way. And as I said, really, these things you send clients in there, it is just a demonstration of you moving with the times, and it is a mandate magnet. This type of thing, everything you've seen today. Okay, I mean, it was just simple. I just simply said, please tell me what footstool means, and it tells me because I fed it all the information. Okay, yeah, it's just a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, a little bit of fun, just as we're doing it. So I'm not a big dancer, really, in public. I'll dance at home, but not in public. But now if Lydia's done a transaction, then I say to her, hey, Lydia, meet me in the office. And then here's just a little video just for fun. So he's looking at me like I'm crazy, and even Lydia's chatbot is having a little bit of a dance there. Anyway, that was just a bit of fun. Now at least I've got some dance moves. I've learned them off the EXP world. All right. Okay, just so you know, if you do need a physical workspace every now and then, yes, EXP is cloud-based. Yes, there are no physical offices. Of course, just remember that is why EXP's overheads are extremely low, which is why there's so much more money available within EXP, which compensates the agents in so many different ways. Higher commission splits, capping system, revenue share, shares that you earn in the company, third-party incomes, so much more. But anyway, we do have access to offices if need be. So even though we're cloud-based, okay, you can have a blend of this wherever you are. So Regus, many of you will probably know, it's worldwide. There are 4,000 plus locations worldwide. Now, as an EXP agent, you have an automatic membership included where you can get complimentary access to Regus business lounges worldwide. You simply have it, you have it on your phone, you produce your identity, your EXP identity, and you're in. So this gives you, access to workspaces wherever you are really, whether it's in between appointments or you're in a different city, and you just look up the Regus and you go there. You can also book private offices and boardrooms at a discounted rate, but what's included in your EXP membership is basically access to the lounge areas, which is pretty much would usually look like you see on the screen there. So you get access to the lounge areas with Wi-Fi and etc. etc. Okay, so now we're getting to the nitty-gritty and the end of things. I think this slide pretty much sums up what gives EXP agents a real advantage in the market today. I know we're speaking EXP, but just take what you want from it in any case. I mean, we've got superior training, definitely. Huge collaboration between agents worldwide, which you don't have in franchise situations because the franchises are actually competing with each other. We've definitely got better technology. EXP is completely at the forefront of AI and technology in the real estate realm. Got strong infrastructures overall and support, as I've mentioned. You've got global reach, proper global reach, which will help you scale in ways that traditional real estate models cannot. And then multiple income streams, which we're not even talking about today really, which creates stability going forward so that you're not only reliant on commission. So many possibilities. So it's really a model built to help agents actually grow and not just survive. Okay, I mean, I'm passionate about this. Right, so again, real estate is evolving rapidly. Technology, AI, marketing, and your clients' expectations are shifting rapidly. I can't say this enough. Agents who don't adapt are going to fall behind, and it's not because they're bad agents. It's just because the industry is moving on, and they will be replaced. Okay, they're not going to be replaced by the AI. They're going to be replaced by the people who are being empowered by AI because they're using it. So this is the perfect time to modernize your systems and future-proof your business going forward. I do just quickly want to chat about ChatGPT very, very shortly. I'm not going to go in depth as we do offer regular ChatGPT training sessions, which I think many of you have been on, but let's just touch on one or two important things I think you must use. ChatGPT is a free tool, okay? It's evolved from a nice to have into an essential business tool. This is a free takeaway for you if you haven't been on my training. So it's like having a researcher, it's like having a copywriter, your own designer, your own assistant, all in one. Okay, it helps you work faster, helps you simplify your daily life, it helps you produce polished content in your business. It's just really one of the most powerful single tools an agent can leverage in today's day. Okay, I mean, in the training, obviously we mentioned things like this. If you haven't attended training, let me know. I'll send you a recording. But so you can use ChatGPT for unlimited content creation, right? Make sure you're visible and that you stay top of mind. We've spoken about that today. And this is where ChatGPT really shines, creating unlimited content, as you'll see there. Those are just examples. So from biographies to listing descriptions, newsletters, social media posts, scripts, anything, it does it all, okay? It really helps any agent who's struggling with sort of what should I put out there to stay top of mind. It'll help you with writing, with ideas, and just to be consistent in producing good content. And it'll also speed up your entire marketing workflow and your day-to-day life. Okay, what we use ChatGPT for, weekly, probably daily. We use it every single week for analyzing images and documents, and it helps us with zoning queries, amongst other things, complex rules, searching documents, compliance questions, troubleshooting software. If we have software or programs that we use, we have problems if we use ChatGPT to solve it. And of course, it also generates bulk social media content for us, which we actually use in conjunction with our Canva Pro account to great effect. Anyway, it's become a core part of our business. And there again, you can see, I mean, it just handles so many tasks for you, and it's got a lot of advanced functionality of not just text anymore, analyzing images, creating images, analyzing documents. Voice functionality is next level, as I've done, as I demonstrate in my ChatGPT training, etc. But it's also no longer just a chat tool, as I've mentioned. It's really a full AI partner. I'm just going to touch on these things. As you'll see, they're custom GPTs, etc. So you can build custom GPTs. You can run deep research. A lot of this is on the paid version, I've got to admit, but still. Analyze documents, as I said, automate workflows. You get a thing called agent mode. I mean, you can use that to navigate websites, work with files, handle complex tasks for you. These advanced features are coming all the time, and they just open up a new level of efficiency. Absolutely quite amazing. I mean, I can never stop talking about these things. This is where AI, as I said, stops being, shall we call it, where it stops being a novelty. Okay, it stops being something that's nice. It becomes a serious business tool that you really need. Okay, I mean, these days you can build your own team of AI-powered digital assistants. It sounds weird. You need to see this in action. I've got examples of this, of things I set up myself. But you can set up digital assistants that can handle market reports for you, handle client follow-ups, database admin, just any admin task you can think of. Okay, so imagine having in future 10 or 20 sort of small little digital personal assistants working quietly, each one at their own tasks, which they specialized in. Okay, all working in the background, performing multiple tasks for you that usually take up so much of your time or take up no time because they're not getting done. Okay, so all these things are aimed to free you up so that you can actually focus on what matters in our industry and why you will remain relevant, because you'll focus on relationships and closing deals, but you have the AI and the tech and the systems to back that. Okay, so this is pretty much the big picture. Okay, I mean, a lot of people still talk about the future, which we see there. The future is already here. It's not coming anymore. Okay, it's not coming, it's already here. Clients are getting used to instant responses. They're getting used to smarter service, tech-enabled service, and a more seamless experience. So behind the scenes, smart agents are starting to use automation and AI to take a huge amount of admin off their plate so that they can concentrate on what matters and really scale their business. I'm not trying to sound dramatic here. Okay, this really, it's a reality. The gap is actually widening between agents who run their businesses with modern systems and those who are still doing everything manually or the old way. So the point of today really wasn't going to become a tech person. We're not going to become tech people necessarily. That's not the point. It's quite simply use the tools that are available that let you work faster, help you follow up better, help you stay top of mind without burning out. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next slide. I can speak forever on that one. This slide basically, quickly, I know it's very busy, but I'll just run through it, explains why we say EXP is more than a brokerage and that it's a whole ecosystem. Because normally as agents, we're forced to build our businesses out of separate pieces, right? Maybe if we've got these things, you've got a CRM there, maybe a little bit of training every now and then that's offered for you, a bit of marketing, etc. Okay, but what we like about this model that we're in is that it's built around one idea. That is to give us as the agent all the tools and the training and the entire platform so that we can grow sustainably into the future. So we've got the whole model, we've got everything, we've got the training, all that type of thing. We've got the marketing and the workflow tools. And the part that most people miss is that when a company's overheads are lower, I mentioned this just now, if you look at the bottom there, when a company's overheads are lower, then there's so much more money that can go towards the agent. And that in EXP is directed in multiple income streams, which is a separate topic. We're talking about tech today. So that's pretty much it over there. And remember, real estate is always going to be human. Our relationships and trust, that's going to be the core of your business. But what I've tried to explain today is where's the shift. Is that agents who use modern systems are going to outperform those who don't. Okay, they're going to be able to respond faster, follow up better, market wider. They're going to be more visible, and they're going to run a more predictive pipeline of future business, if you want to put it that way. So your biggest advantage going forward isn't going to only be experience. Experience still counts for a lot, but it's going to be adaptability. Okay, but the good news is you don't have to do everything yourself. You just need the right stack of tools and systems, and then a decision to actually use it all. Okay, that was it. I hope you took something from this. Before we wrap up, this slide is genuinely no pressure at all. If you'd like, we can do a very quick one-on-one conversation with you if you want, if it suits you, because then we can actually help you in one of three ways, basically. First, if you're curious about the EXP model and all the additional income streams and so on, when it comes to the money part, we can break that down clearly to you and answer any questions and show you what that looks like. Secondly, if you want, we can actually look at your workflow. What are you using today and how can you improve? How do you generate leads? How do you follow up? We can always learn from each other in any case. Okay, and where are the gaps and so on. And then third, of course, if you just want to see the tools that are showed today over sort of broadly, if you want to actually see them in action, we can easily do that on a simple walkthrough, even on a Google Meet. So you can really see that, go into Okta and go into the systems, any specific ones you want to see, so that you can actually see what could fit your lifestyle. So please do feel free. If you want any of that, just WhatsApp us or email us. Our details are right over there, and we'll take it from there. And I really hope you walk away with something at least, even if it's just the realization that there's a shift happening and you need to start focusing on what you use and what you don't. And wishing you all just a strong and a successful and a focused 2026. Go well and God bless.